The reason you would ask that question is because one thing that scientists and doctors have been researching for years is a way to reactivate the dormant stem cells in our body. And therefore, we've been able to figure out a way. They said there's no way to do it. It was actually proven by Dr. Lauren Picard. But you may be familiar with something called stem cell injections. Now, stem cell injections are, it's pretty controversial because, first of all, this is an injection that goes into your body. You're going to be receiving stem cells from someone else's body, whether it's an embryo or someone else. They're going to inject it into a certain location, whether it's a joint or muscle. Now, what that describes is the fact that it is localized. It doesn't help you with any other part of your body except for the location that is injected into. Also, it's very expensive. Insurance does not cover it. And when injections can cost anywhere from $1,000 to $20,000 to $25,000 at a time, that doesn't sound like something that's affordable to the average person, but they're so desperate to get rid of the illness or condition that they have, they're willing to pay that. They're willing to fly out of the country to get that done. And sometimes maybe 30% of the time that procedure doesn't even work. And even if it does work, you still got to continue to go back and get those injections. But what we're going to share with you tonight is the solution to all of that. And so what's going to happen is you're going to be being able to try this tiny little patch that you're looking at. It's about the size of a quarter and it's thin like a Band-Aid. And when you put this on, the heat and light of your body is going to activate this patch where immediately copper peptides, GHKCU, copper peptide in particular, is going to be elevated. And when that happens, something phenomenal happens, which is those dormant stem cells that I mentioned already are going to be activated. And when that happens, your whole body is going to be regenerated. It's a very phenomenal thing. But what I want to do now is play a short video that's going to really describe everything that I just talked about. So let me get started.
In a world searching for answers, one discovery is changing everything. A patch, no bigger than a quarter, built not to treat symptoms, but to wake up the healer inside you. This is X39, a wearable, light-activated patch. Designed by David Schmidt, an inventor with over 200 patents. His mission? To reverse aging naturally. This isn't science fiction. It's stem cell activation without injections, without pills. Your body repairing itself. The results? Life-changing energy, recovery, sleep, relief. And the medical world? It's taking notice. Still skeptical? Visit thisisitinfo.com. You'll find the studies, the patents, the proof. It's all there. But there's more. This tiny patch isn't just transforming lives, it's creating freedom. Because behind it is a business model built for the bold. Real people, real results. Income that scales with impact. And here's why. Because this breakthrough technology is patented and exclusive, it offers a lucrative business plan that allows you to compound your efforts. More people than ever are struggling in today's economy. You can no longer rely on your own sweat equity alone to make a living. This business model allows you to duplicate yourself and, even better, to benefit from other people's efforts. So your income no longer depends solely on you. By duplicating yourself over and over, the income potential is far greater than a conventional job, career, or profession. And you're never alone. The This Is It system gives you the tools, the path, the team. All you have to do is start. The question is no longer if it works, it's whether you'll act or let this moment pass. Will you keep waiting or finally feel your body come alive again? Will you stay financially stuck or build something that lasts? Isn't it time to start living life on your own terms? The This Is It action plan will set you on a path to live out the dreams you have for your family. Get back with the person who shared this video so you can experience the age-reversing health and the exciting lifestyle that thousands are already enjoying. This is the technology, this is the team, and this is your moment. This is it.
Now that video said it all, really. It really did say it all. But I will say this. You probably are very, very impressed by the information you heard on that. Everything that you can imagine being said about a product or company is just amazing. One of the things you did hear about was a gentleman by the name of David Schmidt, who is our CEO and inventor of this patch. I mean, this man has over 200 patents. He is really a very humble person, and his whole purpose is to help humanity. But he's a scientist and inventor specializing in age reversing. And back in 2008, he started focusing his attention on stem cell research. And it took him about 10 years to come up with the solution that we keep talking about, how to reactivate those dormant stem cells. He came up with that solution, even though doctors and scientists said it could not be done. Took him about $4.5 million to do it and bring it to market, along with a whole team of scientists that assisted him with over 80 case studies. Why did he do those case studies, you guys? Because the case studies allowed him to prove that this technology works. You see, here's the patent right here. And whenever you have a patent, it's got to be true. It's got to be, you can't say anything in a patent that's not true. And it reads right here that this is a wearable phototherapy apparatus that produces beneficial effects to a human body, such as activation of stem cells, improvement in strength, improvement in stamina, pain relief via a non-transdermal container. And see, we have another 15 years. This was created back in July of 2020. We have another 15 years of exclusivity on this patch. No other company can market it. No other company or any human being can duplicate this, because it is patented, which screams opportunity for us. Now, why are we're talking about this? I kind of gave you a clue, but let me describe what's happening to our bodies, why we even need this patch. You see, as we get older, our stem cells become dormant. And why is that significant? Because the stem cells that are in our body are the mechanisms that allow our bodies to heal themselves. Our bodies are intended to heal themselves, and the mechanism that helps us do that are our stem cells. So if they go dormant, we don't really have that mechanism available anymore. By the time we're 30, half of them are dormant, and by the time we're 60, 90% are dormant. That's amazing. See, this is when you're in your 30s, this is when you start noticing things. You start getting tired real easily. You start wanting to take a nap. You start getting things like, high blood pressure, diabetes, and things like this that normally happen when you're in your 30s. But by the time we're 60, this is when we start forgetting things, and just our bodies just decline. We start getting wrinkles. It's pretty obvious. You can look at a person who's 30 and put them next to a person that's 60. You can see the difference. And it's because the collagen on our body is decreasing, all those kinds of things that make us look and feel older. Now, how does this patch work? It's a proprietary form of phototherapy, which I would like to correlate that with what happens when you go out in the sun. When you go in the sun you've heard this being said, that the sun will elevate that vitamin D that's in your body. Well, that's all you have to do is go out in the sun. But in this case, you don't have to use the light and heat of the sun, because we already have the heat and light in our body, which when you put the patch on, it's going to reflect the light in these crystals. They're tiny crystals nanocrystal technology that's in this patch. These crystals are going to reflect off of the heat and light of your body. And when that happens, it's going to elevate a copper peptide called GHKCU, which in turn reactivates those dormant stem cells. You guys, this process I just described called photobiomodulation is a phenomenon. So it is amazing. There are no drugs or chemicals in it. Isn't that amazing that you don't have to put anything in your body to help it heal itself? It's going to reflect off the light, like I explained, and it's non-transdermal, non-invasive. Nothing is going into your body. Now, I want to be careful to let you know that our products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent anything. Isn't it amazing that, our body is designed to heal itself? And this is what's going to happen when we wear this patch. So there are many, many benefits that people have experienced. There's few listed right here, but I'll read them. Increased strength. As we get older, sometimes, most of the time, we're just not as strong as we used to be. Reduce inflammation. That's real important because inflammation is where you can indicate that there's some kind of disease in your body or pain in your body if there's inflammation, but it's going to reduce that. Increase stamina, energy and vitality, mental clarity. That's a big one because so many people, get that brain fog, or they can't remember things. They can't remember people's names. All of these things are happening to many people. Restores the muscle and skeletal conditions. As we get older, our skeletal condition is not as strong. People start walking with canes. They're bending over. All of that is going to be restored when you start wearing this patch. We got so many people that have testimonies that are no longer walking with a cane, and sometimes within 2 and 3 weeks after having used a cane for years. Improve sleep. The sleep part is so important because that's when your body gets a chance to heal itself. My husband and I, we got our firsthand experience the very first night that we tried this patch. You see, my husband used to snore really, really bad. He had a sleeping disorder, and it was very disturbing because he snored so loud that I couldn't sleep. And many times he'd be choking and coughing all night because he also had acid reflux. And the very first night of wearing this patch, I noticed that there was no noise in the room. Okay. The next night it happened. I didn't attribute it to the patch, but the next night it happened again. He did not snore. That's been November the 12th of 2022. 3 years ago, my husband has not snored, you guys. This patch will surprise you and do things that you cannot even imagine. And that's the incident that catapulted us to look at what we're talking about very, very closely. Improved skin appearance. I'm going to share with you some before and after pictures in a moment of some, just tremendous types of conditions that people had that were improved with this patch. Now, I want to talk about this lady who they used a brain scan. They looked at, she was in one of the case studies, because remember, there were over 80 case studies, and she was 77 years old. They looked at her brain in a brain scan and noticed that there was inflammation in her brain. This orange red area represents inflammation, as well as the fact that there was lack of brain coherence. 3 weeks later, there was no more inflammation and improved brain coherence. But 3 weeks more, which is a total of 6 weeks, her brain was completely coherent. There was complete turnaround, you guys. This is what happens. This could be your brain. Could be your heart. There's inflammation possibly throughout our whole bodies. But this is what happened to this lady, and it's amazing. You see, here's this page right here tells you what the long-term results were during those case studies. And the first thing that happens within the first few days, over 4,000 genes begin to reset. The brain becomes balanced, just like it did on the previous page, where the lady who was 77 years old, in 6 weeks, her brain become balanced. Well, do you know anybody with PTSD? Do you know anyone that's autistic? Do you know anyone that has dementia, or something, just plain old depression, just all kinds of things that you could look at a person sometimes, and now you know why people act the way they do. It's because their brain is not balanced. Within 6 weeks, that's what's going to be restored. Within 3 months, the collagen is increased. And then I want you to know collagen is not just about wrinkles. The collagen holds your body together. It holds your tissues and your muscles. It's like the mortar. If you had a brick house, it's like the mortar that holds the house together. That's what collagen is to our body. So it's very important that that's increasing now within 3 months because it is depleted as we get older. And then last but not least, within 6 months, the heart reverses in age. And David Schmidt himself says that the science says that every 6 months that you wear this patch, you can expect your heart to reverse by 8 years. I'll repeat that. Every 6 months that you wear this patch, you can expect your heart to reverse by 8 years. I mean, that is proven. We have people that like are 70 years old and had a test called a vascular age test, and the doctor saying they had a heart of a 20-year-old. Those are the kinds of, testimonies we're getting, you guys. So this is not just anti-aging, you guys. This is age reversing according to David Schmidt. Now, how do you wear this? This is very, very simple, very simple. Just put this patch anywhere on your body. During the case studies, they use the location behind the neck and below the belly button just for consistency purposes so that everybody be doing the same thing. But you only have to wear it 12 hours to allow your body to elevate those copper peptides being elevated, those stem cells being reactivated, and the whole body being regenerated. You take it off 12 hours later and allow your body to rest and repair and rejuvenate. So 12 hours on, 12 hours off. The most important thing you got to remember is to be hydrated. You need to elevate your water that you're using, and maybe something that's pH balance, just an elevated form of water, okay? Not just tap water or anything like that. Treat your body good, okay? Now, our testimonies are emotional, you guys. They're life-changing. And we're so fortunate to have two people on the call tonight that will demonstrate exactly what I'm talking about. And so I want you to listen very carefully, because this is the part that really will get to you. The first person I want to ask to come on to unmute themselves and share their video is Mr. Calvin Hopkins. Calvin, are you there? If so, there you go. You got to unmute yourself, Calvin. I see you, but I got to get you unmuted. All the way to the left. There you go. There you go. Thank you so much for coming on. Please share your amazing testimony, Calvin.
All right. How you doing? How's everybody doing? My name is Calvin Hopkins, and I'm a Army veteran and a retired police officer from D.C. So over the 33 years, I've seen things that I can't unsee as PTSD. And I was very active in my younger age. I did a lot of jogging and martial arts. So I had PTSD, the sleep nights and things that you can't unsee. And I also was involved in a officer-involved shooting, and then I became a crime scene investigator. So I processed crime scenes from homicides all the way down to all different types of assaults, from elderly to kids. And so these things created bad dreams that I couldn't not unsee. And some nights I could not go to sleep. I would lay in the bed, but my body be dead tired, but I'd be staring at the wall because I couldn't sleep and I was scared to go to sleep. And, that happened for years and years. And first I found Jesus, and it relieved a lot of it. But I ran into a friend who had told me that he knew someone that had some patches and that they would be pretty good for my situation. So he directed me to Apostle Don Craddock and Lisa, and I gave him a call and asked him about the patches, and they explained it to me. So I went on, bought some patches, and even became a brand member. So I started taking the patches at first, the X39, that's what I was taking. And I wasn't feeling nothing. I was like, this stuff ain't really working. So one day I'm driving and my vision got like HD clear. So, okay, I noticed that. I said, all right, there might be something to it. So I kept taking, using the patch, as prescribed, drinking a lot of water. Then I realized my energy my energy level went up. I would walk 5 miles, come home, cut my grass, and still would not be tired. And plus, I have bone on bone knees. And so I was using light ice wave as well on my knees. At one point, I was taking injections, but because of the X39 I'm using the ice wave, I no longer have to use injections, and I walk 10,000 steps a day, and I noticed that then I started resting my peace. I will get some good sleep. Right now, I can go to bed and won't wake up till the next morning. Usually at my age of 65, we have to go to the bathroom back and forth, but I can lay there and don't have to get up till the next morning when it's time for me to get up out of the bed. I took a sleep apnea test. My master machine had messed up, so you had to through VA you had to get another test, and the test revealed that I didn't need a machine to aid me in sleeping no more. That my sleep, I still had sleep apnea, but not to the degree that I had before taking the using the X39. Now I don't have to have a machine, and which my wife, she loves that because sometimes she have to nudge me to see if I'm still breathing over this because I'm so quiet. So this patch has been very, very remarkable. And then one more testimony through using ibuprofen before I found out about the patch. I was damaging my kidneys and didn't know it till I did a kidney test. My kidneys was functioning around 25 to 35%. Plus, they were producing protein as I used the bathroom. So I told the doc, no, I'm not going to do dialysis. I'm like, let me stop taking ibuprofen because I have something else I'm going to use for pain. And I did that. And so we did a test 6 months later. My kidneys was functioning above 65% and plus no more protein in my urine. So these patches are phenomenal. They are phenomenal.
Wow. Thank you so much, Calvin, for sharing that. And I know this has really made an impression on your life, being able to sleep, being able to walk without pain, being able to, restore your kidneys back to their size and then no more nightmares. So that's quite a lot of stuff for one little tiny patch. Most things that we try, you guys, it helps with one thing. But this helped. You just heard a person that showed you multiple things that this patch helped him with. So thank you so much, Calvin, for sharing. You can stop your video now and your card. Thank you so much. I have one more person on that has an amazing testimony. My friend out of the Kansas City area, Mr. Jules Strother. Can you please come on and share your testimony?
Absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
I certainly can.
Thank you so much for allowing me for the opportunity to share. And there's so many testimonies, so I'll give you guys a few because this has been absolutely amazing for myself and the people I've been able to share this with. But I have to start with this. Ladies and gentlemen that are listening for the first time, I was the biggest skeptic about this in the very beginning. And what they say about skepticism, it's only valid in the absence of proof. And so all the proof is right there in the patent information, all the different testimonies. But I did not believe in this because it was introduced to me coming out of COVID. And I just wasn't open-minded about receiving any new information about anything. I worked out 5 days a week, thought I knew all I need to know about health. Boy, was I wrong. And so with that being said, I just thank God to this day, every single day that Brigida, you and your husband continue to send information to me and testimonies because that's what really got me. That's what really got me. After looking at like 20, 30 different testimonies, I was like, all these people can't be lying, right? And so I removed myself out of that selfish state of mind I was in. And the reason why I say I was selfish is because I was only thinking about myself. I wasn't thinking about the other people that this information can impact. And so when I got my patches from you guys, and it's been amazing. I said, you know what? I've seen several testimonies that had different things that people that I was close to were experiencing and being challenged with. And so the first person that I actually she wasn't my guinea pig, but she was the first person I said, you know what, if these things work, this is the first person I want to help. And that was my mom. And my mom is the only biological parent I have left. All four of my grandparents are transitioned, and my biological father. So I keep her close to my heart. My mom was battling high blood pressure for 30 years, y'all. 30 years, seeing countless doctors, countless medications. Nothing's never worked. Her blood pressure never regulated to a normal level ever. And of course, what comes with that when your blood pressure is 230 something top number, 100 something bottom number, you have frequent strokes. And January 2024 last year, my mom had a major stroke. She was non-responsive. We thought this was going to be the final chapter of her life. And she had just started patching 2 weeks prior to that, back in the end of November of 2024. And long story short, no, I think that was December 2023. I want to make sure I get the dates right. Had the stroke in 2024 January, and we kept patching her even during the stroke. She was not responsive. We kept patching my mom, and it took about 4 months. I tell people to give it time. It took my mom 4 months. A couple of weeks later, she started being more responsive, but still had a slur in her speech. In April 2024. My mom's blood pressure did something that it hadn't done in 30 years. It regulated to a normal reading, 132/78. I can never forget that number. Hasn't did that in 30 years. When I seen that this worked for my mom, I was all in. That was it. I started using it. I told my kids about it. I got kids in their 20s and 30s, and you gotta let your youth know, because I would have never guessed a year later. A year passes, I would have never guessed that my son would be in a serious motorcycle accident where he lost his leg in this motorcycle accident. When I say he lost his leg, that was the minor of that major accident. What was worse is that his upper thigh that was still dangling on there barely, despite loose skin. It was missing so much tissue that his bladder was exposed, because it split from his inner thigh all the way up to his stomach. And so broken hip, everything, rectum completely destroyed. And most people wouldn't live through that, ladies and gentlemen. Again, who would have ever known this was going to happen a year later? And long story short, the doctors are freaked out about this, because the muscles reformed his rectum. Ain't that crazy? So the colostomy bag removed. All of his tissue grew back in his inner thigh where there was no tissue. I mean, I'm at the doctor, and I'm looking at this, and I can't believe it, because every time I go up there, it's filling in more and more. And I didn't know the body can do that. I know the body is designed to self-heal when it's in a proper frequency, but I never knew the body can do that. And all of his tissue grew back in his inner thigh. So that suprapubic catheter that he had going through his stomach to allow his body to release urine, no longer there. So he's normal from the front and the back. He just got fitted for his prosthetic leg. My son drives every day. Is very active in his kid's life now. And so with that being said, the doctors could not understand. They have never seen anything like this, because now he's a case study at Research Medical Center in Kansas City, Missouri, because they've never seen the body respond like that, is what the doctor said. Doctors from all over the country flew in to see my son's case, because they wanted to verify that the reports they were reading were accurate. And so, ladies and gentlemen, my son had been patching for again, about a year prior to that accident. So the accident was this year, March 17th this year. And his stem cell count was so active that it was able to place his body in the correct frequency so the body can self-heal. So super amazing. And my issue, my own testimony is my cholesterol. I've been battling cholesterol for 30 years, just hereditary. I don't eat fried food. I'm not a I work out 5 days a week. But I've always had high cholesterol, which can lead to strokes, and that can make a person check out. So after 30 years, I thought this was going to be a permanent part of my life. This is what I love about this, and I tell people, know your numbers. I got my numbers written down. I went and dug all of my old receipts for my annual doctor, my physicals I take every single year. In April 2019, 237. If anyone knows anything about cholesterol, anything over 200, you're at risk for a heart attack. They put you on medication. So April 2019, 237. June of 2020, I was at 220. August of 2021, I was at 226. Again, I'm still on medication, right? 2022, I was at 239. November of 2024 to 209, got a little lower. But last year, again, I've been taking these, I've been patching every single day. I started patching last year. I didn't even tell my wife when I did it. I quit taking my atorvastatin, is what they give you. And then you got to take the CoQ10 because a lot of consistent use of atorvastatin is bad for your heart. So you have to take the CoQ10 to kind of, offset that. And so I quit taking everything. I said, I'm going to believe in these patches. They're going to work. And ladies and gentlemen, October 2025, my cholesterol reading is 119. And I got the forms and the documents to prove it. So I can keep going on and on, but that's my testimony. And with that, thank you for allowing me to share. I'll pass it back over to you, Mrs. Amon.
And that's why we do this business. All right. Thank you so much, Jewel. That I'm pretty sure that touches every single person that's on this call. But literally, Jewel's testimony and Calvin's testimonies is why we do what we do. We share with people that we love and care about. And that's why you're on this call as well. So thank you so much. Let me get back to this presentation. As we said, these testimonies are emotional and life-changing. But I also want to share with you some visuals. I told you about skin. This gentleman had a condition called vitiligo. There is no cure. But after just 1 year of wearing the X39, he does not have vitiligo skin anymore. No more spots on his skin. Do you know anybody like that that would really appreciate hearing about this? And look at this lady. Let me back up. Look at this lady. Her lines and wrinkles were diminished. She, after 3 years of wearing the patch, she looks 20 years younger. Unheard of. And so that's just the visual that goes along with the skincare issues that I was telling you about. But if you go to this site right here called thisisitinfo.com and you click on testimonies, you will see many more testimonies that are just as life-changing as what you've already heard. If you know someone with neuropathy, they're very uncomfortable. If you know someone that had a stroke like Jewel's mother, they need this patch. If you know someone that cannot hear, I did have an experience personally of patching someone who I didn't know the lady couldn't hear because she was reading my lips. And about 10 minutes after me patching her, she screamed because all of a sudden she could hear. So anything that you can imagine is documented right here on thisisitinfo.com. There are many all the case studies, the patents. In other words, this is documented, you guys. Doctors love this site because it definitely lends credibility to what we're saying right here. Now, listen, I don't know what's important in your life. I don't know if it's family time. I know family time has got to be important to every single person on this call. The reason we're bringing this up is because what the information we're sharing with you can allow you all of these benefits: family time, more family time, financial security. You know, my husband and I are retirement age, and one of the things that was very, very important to us, we're self-employed, so therefore we may not have all the financial benefits to some people that have worked at a company for 40 or 50 years or whatever. And we were concerned about our financial security, but we were looking for something, but we didn't really know what to look for. But lo and behold, we realized that this was it. This opportunity that where we're sharing and caring for other people is what we were looking for. And so being able to travel was top of my list, y'all. I love to travel. But so this company has allowed us to go to places like Punta Cana, Punta Mita, Greece, because the company rewards us as we share with other people. They give us opportunities to travel at their expense. Of course, we definitely in better health. I have a physical coming up January 7th, and last year, perfect health. I mean, when you're in your late 60s and they can't find anything wrong with you, that is a blessing. And of course, less debt. That was really a big blessing for us as well. And it can be the same for you and others in your family. But you guys, when opportunity happens by creating solutions. And so what are the current problems that people have that need to be solved? First of all, no one knows about stem cells being dormant. All my life, I never heard this before. Doctors never told us, because if they knew about it, they would have been doing something about it. Like Jewel just said, doctors flew in to see what happened to his son, if it was really true, because obviously they don't know what to do about the dormant stem cells, because if they did, they would embrace this this phenomenon. And so many people are struggling financially. So these are problems that need to be solved. Just like I was telling you about me and my husband. Well, LifeWave offers the solution. The stem cell reactivation is going to allow, us to be our bodies to heal themselves, but by sharing it with others, it creates an income generating business. Very, very simple concept. Now, I want you to put your business hat on for a moment, and I won't be much longer, but I want you to understand this. If you have the opportunity to, start your own business, you would probably be attracted to a company that sounded something like LifeWave. Why? Because LifeWave is over 20 years old, which means it's a solid company, but yet it feels like a brand new company. Why? Because in 2021, the company was only generating about 20 million in revenue. But in 2022, a couple years after the X39 came out, but also the same year, our team came on board. Our team name is This Is It Team. And when our team came on board, the company skyrocketed up to 320 million. It kept going up to 430 million the next year, up to $600 million in 2024. And this year we're pushing towards $1 billion. In other words, the company is growing extremely fast, such that a website called businessforhome.org, which monitors network marketing companies or home-based businesses such as ours, they have ranked us #1, going on the 3rd year in a row, fastest growing company in momentum, you guys. That is an honor, that is a blessing, and that's documented. And also, we just received another award called the Biotech Breakthrough Award. You see, they look at thousands of companies that are nominated, from over 15 countries. And guess what? LifeWave received the award. How about that? All right. It just gets better and better. This opportunity, we have a system in place with our team to make it so simple for you to duplicate your efforts. See, so it's similar to a franchise, because in a franchise, everything, you go to McDonald's, the French fries on the left, the ice cream is on the right, but the machine is always broken. So that's what you notice about a franchise. They do the same thing over and over. That's what we do. But franchises are very, very expensive. They could be $500,000 to open up a franchise, literally $250,000, or more than likely $500,000 to $1 million. Where we have that same concept, but we're able to start with a credit card. It's not going to break you to start this business. So everyone is building a business for their dreams. So I want to kind of break this down and show you as you're sharing this with people. And I know if you have anything in your body, any bone in your body that tells you that you want to help your friend who has cholesterol, or your friend that has a heart condition, or your friend that has PTSD, or your parent that has, bone on bone, you're going to want to share this. I just heard about something that can help you, Mom. Well, guess what? When you do that, you position yourself to get paid, because our company will pay you 9 different ways. I'm going to share a few of them with you tonight. But let me tell you the first one. First one is this. Let's say you're on this call tonight, and you say, how can I just get some of those patches? You might say, well, I just want to try one time. See these patches come in a package where there's 30 of these, because you're going to wear them every day, just as you was taking a vitamin. You're going to wear it every day. It's going to come in a sleeve. We call this a sleeve. And then it's double packaging with this beautiful packaging here. Now, if you said, I just want to try it one time, you can do that. But it's going to cost you about $150, $149.95 to do that. But if you're the one who is sharing it with a friend or a loved one, and they want to try one time, the company's going to pay you our first way, which is retail profits, $50. But if that person says, you know what, I understand what Verdita said about staying on there for 6 months. You want to stay on this patch at least 6 months if you're 60, because for every decade that you're alive, you want to stay on the patch for at least a month. And so it's not going to happen overnight. If you understand that, then you may want to consider being a preferred customer. There are 2 of them. The preferred customer program, first of all, if you're a preferred customer, the company's going to send you extra patches, like 10 free patches every single month. We've got other patches besides the X39. The X39 does everything, but the other patches just enhance your experience. But you're going to get 10 free ones every month, but just for staying current. But when that person stays on those patches every single month, you're going to make $20 every month. They're going to pay the wholesale price as a benefit for being a preferred customer. So you're paying $99.95 a sleeve. They're paying $95 a sleeve. You're making $20 every month. What if you had 10 preferred customers every month? You'd make $200. You made the sale one time or the referral one time. What if you had 50 preferred customers? That's $1,000 coming in just on customers. What can you do with an extra $1,000 every single month? I'm pretty sure you could pay all your utilities and possibly a car payment. Okay. Now, one of the next ways you get paid is a lot of fun. Why? Because I know you're excited. I would challenge you to write a list of people that you love and care about and immediately go, while you're excited, go ahead and tell them about this patch and why they need to try it. And when they decide to, get started, they get a package as well. But if they do this really quickly, you're going to benefit from something that's going to allow you to get an extra $25 every week, up to $50 per week. And that's just an extra bonus on top of the other ways you're going to get paid. But also, you're going to be positioned in a structure called a binary. That simply means that all of us are working together. If this is you, and you share this with your mom, your brother, your coworker, your friend, all of these people are going to get one of these packages, which I'm going to share with you in a moment. And we're all generating volume, and that volume translates into money. It's kind of more detailed than that I'm explaining it, but I just want you to know we build this together as a team. So when you come in, everybody that comes after you, you get to benefit from the volume they're generating. Now, once I was explaining to you that you can earn up to $50 per week just to get started fast. That's just a bonus, but do it really, really fast within a week, like maybe referring 4 people within a week. That's going to give you an extra $50 per week based on the package they get. Then we have another bonus that I want to tell you about called our mentor matching bonus. That simply means that as people, more people get involved in your team, they're going to start reaching ranks. Like when they get to a 1-star director or above, you start getting matching bonuses on the binary volume that I just shared with you, as well as another way that we get paid 9 different ways, you guys. But each person that's on this chart, you can earn up to $20,000 per person. Say, for example, if you were, if you enrolled me and I go and make $5,000 this week, because we do get paid every week, you're going to get a match up to 20% of that $5,000, which is, in this case, $1,000. But you can earn up to $20,000 on whatever I earn, okay? And all this depends on your rank, but over time, this is going to happen. So you see the conventional business that I was telling you about, there's a high risk because there's a high startup cost in most businesses. And there's a high risk because you don't have someone sharing with you what to do to relieve the stress. And then the long hours. I'm an interior designer. I'll give you a perfect example. I'm an interior designer. I love what I do, but I have chosen to substantially reduce the amount of time I dedicate to that because I am more excited about what I'm doing with you all right now. I love sharing with other people, but in interior design work, I'm drawing construction drawings. I'm doing a lot of detail work. And even though I love interior design, I like the decorative aspect. I don't like the technical aspect. Okay. And so that's stressful for me because it takes long hours to do all that kind of stuff. But many businesses you're learning on your own and there's limited income potential. Now, the LifeWave business that we're talking about, you started on a credit card. There's no risk. And then because the company will give you a refund within 30 days, if for some reason you change your mind, it is stress-free. You get to make your own schedule. This is a proven system, you guys, and you got people mentoring you along the way. That is what we do. We just help people when they get started, tell them what to do, just like what we did when we got started. And there's unlimited. The sky is the limit on what you can earn. Now, listen, you know, it's going to be very simple to get you started because the packages, if you said, well, you know what, I know I'm going to be sharing this with some people, which means you want to, if you want to earn money, you need to get one of these packages that I'm about to describe to you. So the first package is called the core. There's 30-day supplies in there, just enough for you and your spouse, and maybe 2 or 3 of your friends can share it. You can share some of these patches with, okay? Because that's what we do. We share with other people. Advanced pack is when you get 6 of these sleeves. So you're saving a little bit of money because you get $600 worth of inventory, but you're getting $65 in savings. So that's enough for you and your spouse and more people, 4 sleeves that have 30 patches in, and as you continue to get a bigger pack, you save more money. You save $125 on the Advanced Plus pack, and then you save $250 on the premium. See, as a business owner, I always get the best price, always go for the best price. But what's so significant about this one, the reason my husband and I got this is because we were really, really serious about it. Remember I said earlier that when we saw this, we knew this was it. We knew this is what we were looking for. And so why play with it? We wrote a list of 50 couples. No, I'm sorry, 25 couples. And we decided to give each one of those couples a package with some patches in it. Then we had 25 individuals. And then we held on to 6 of those for ourselves because with this 2 people, this package allowed us to have our own patches for 3 months. You see, this package right here will keep you active for 90 days. And one of the things that's significant if you're wanting to earn money in our binary, and if you want to earn any kind of way in this company, is you must be on a monthly subscription, which simply means you're buying at least one of these per month for $99.95. That's going to allow you to keep your points because the points is what translates into money. But if you want to maximize the money and get promoted in our company, you must get at least 2 sleeves per month. That's going to cost you about $200. You keep your points, and now you can qualify to make all the 9 ways of pay. So you can't earn all 9 ways of pay with one sleeve, just simple as that. And so with that being the case, with the package that we had purchased, it kept us active for 90 days. So this is a savings all the way around, you guys. Just wanted to let you know so you can make a decision on what package you want. Now, another thing is that we have our own app, LifeWave Now, and it's an AI-powered app. We're the only network marketing company that uses AI for our social media skills, opportunities, as well as sharing with other people. I told you about these trips that we take. We have one on the table right now to go to Honolulu, and you have all the way through February 22nd. You guys, I would roll up my sleeves as fast as I can because you get points as you share this with other people and they get one of these packages, or if they just become a customer, everything equates to points. People that you've shared this with and they have gotten promoted in the company, you get points on that. You get points on maintaining your rank. There's so many ways that we get to accumulate points. So hopefully you see what I see, and I see you in Honolulu. I'm so excited about that. So you guys, the time is now to make your move. If you're serious about your dreams, we encourage you to recognize that this is hope for your future. I am so excited for you in your future. The person that invited you to this call again is really cares a lot about you. So please get back with them and let them know what package you want, or if you just want to try the patches. Either way, please give it a try, because we know that if it works for you, you're going to share with someone else. We have work to do. We're trying to help people all over the world change their lives. I want you to know there's a call coming up just like the one you're on right now, and it's going to be at 10 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. It's called our West Coast opportunity call, and a gentleman by the name of Mr. Christopher Oliver is an executive out of the Houston area, will be presenting that call. It's going to be an awesome call. If I were you, I would get some of my friends that I know on that call, because he's definitely going to close it out. Same number that you're on right now. You can take a screenshot of this, because we do calls every single night of the week, except for Fridays. We do it during the daytime. But listen, you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we hope you have a wonderful week and see you on the next call. Again, my name is Verdita Mott. Enjoyed having you. Good night.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be getting this call kicked off at the top of the hour, so definitely you want to make sure you do grab a pad and pen. That way you can take copious notes on this afternoon's call. We'll be getting started up shortly.